you guys might find this interesting. Um, I usually try to buy American or cottage sites the best I can. I bought some little clips and some elastic stuff for a new tent I got coming in, and they told me they can't ship till the 30th, and I was like, why is that taking so long? I mean, you could drop those things in an envelope and send them. Well, this was the message they sent back to me. They said, thanks for reaching out to us. Unfortunately, Durham, North Carolina was without power for the last half of the last week. So we're working to catch up on their order fulfillment. So they had no power. And I never knew anything about it. So I thought, I started looking up their local news because it was on their local news, but it wasn't, and nobody knows about this.
Smith is having to get creative.
This is what we're cooking on.
Cooking on a propane stove and trying to save what he can in coolers.
We got ice in here and everything. My father's medicine has to be refrigerated.
But after 2 full nights without power, it's taking its toll. His house, over 80 degrees inside.
Honestly, it's hot outside, it's hot inside.
He toughed it out after he heard the power might be back on last night. And
So you look at that, no power, and we're in a heat wave, right? And when you go down in here, they say 2 full nights, but that guy was waiting 3 days, is what he was waiting. They were using coolers with ice. They were using propane stoves, but they don't have generators because obviously he's part of the poor. I mean, I have 2 generators, and a big one and a little one. My big one will run everything in the house. But you have to check those. I mean, every 3 months, I check my generators. I change the oil. I mean, it becomes a good hour to 2 hours of a day to go once every 3 months to do that. You have to make sure they're running. You have to maintain them. And if you don't, unless they're brand new in a box and you set them in a corner, things break on them. Hoses rot. I've replaced 2 hoses on the big one when I went to to check it and make sure everything's working, and I have extra hoses now. But there's no guarantee when the power goes out that's going to work. There's no guarantee at all. I would say it's more likely that it probably will break or something will go wrong. It's just the way they are. And it's just how things are. Now, I do have a solar freezer here in the bunker. I've never actually showed it to anybody. But I have a complete solar freezer. It's a small one. It's a chest freezer. And it runs off solar with no problem whatsoever. Somebody was offering it for sale, and I got a really good deal on it, so I went and bought it a few years back. But this is what could happen to you. These videos here where some old woman was saying, us old people can't deal with this. She lost $1,000 in food. And it's not like the power company is going to give you any food because of a storm that took them out. But it really wasn't on social media. Now, this is something I noticed which is, ridiculous. When it comes to American people suffering, we suffer, and we suffer for everybody. And that's just the way it is. I mean, the immigrants come over, they ship them to New York, they give them special housing, they give them air conditioning, 3 square meals a day, they get checked for medical. I mean, they roll out the red carpet for them. Ukraine, they send billions over there. And yet, the people in Hawaii, I think they're sending them something like a $700 or $900 stimulus when their houses are burned to the ground. These people are suffering for 3 days. Yet, in New York, they were sending out buses that were cooling buses to help these people get a break. Well, North Carolina, they didn't send out no buses. They just kept saying, well, we're getting there, we're getting there. Sorry you lost your $1,000 in food. It's almost like to say you're American and people are like, USA, USA. USA my ass. We get it up the ass every time. Everybody else is handed the red carpet. And it's ridiculous. Now, Hawaii, they're worried about insurance companies. That's another thing. Insurance companies will take 8 months to pay you, sometimes longer. And that's the reason I made this bunker. If the house gets taken out by a tornado, they can take as long as they want. I'll live in the bunker until they finally give me my money. But most people can't do that. I mean, it seems like you're not only preparing for, a generator or some food or some cans of food. I mean, you're preparing against the insurance company if something goes wrong. Do you have enough money to put a trailer on your lot? Do you have enough money to survive for 8 or 9 months? Because you're going to have to, because insurance companies don't want to pay you shit. And they basically try to starve you out. Well, in Hawaii, that's what they're going to try and do, because apparently the insurance companies couldn't come in there and hand money to them and then let them leave. And then the elite companies come in and then they build big motels. And they don't want that. So they're doing everything in their power in Hawaii to stop that. But because these houses all burned down, apparently some rule, some law or something, they're now allowed to come in and offer them money. Well, if you're sitting there for 2 weeks to a month, there's no work, your job's gone, the house is gone, and they offer you a good amount of money, you're going to be like, I'm out of here. Give me the money. Instead of sitting there having to suffer for 8 months waiting for an insurance company to try and pay you, and then they don't give you very much because they try to starve you out to the point and say, well, we can give you this much, that much, and they play this stupid game with you. I don't know if anybody else is noticing this, but it's like when you're an American, you get it up the ass. And that's all there is to it. You come from another country, they roll out the red carpet. They give you 3 square meals a day. You could be a vet on the street or an American that's a drug addict, and they're like, let them die. I mean, somebody that's actually a drug addict on meth on the street apparently only has 10 years of life if they continue to do it. And you would think that would be an emergency. You would think it'd be, oh my God, these people are wrecking their lives. They've only got 10 years of life. I mean, they're Americans. We need to help them. And then some people say, well, we don't help them. Let them die. Something's backwards here. Something's backwards. These people were suffering without air conditioning. Where was their 20 buses down there to give them relief where they could go sit in a bus and get a break from the heat? Doesn't exist. Biden says, we'll give Hawaii $900 stimulus. Are you kidding me? We can send billions over to Ukraine, but those people in Hawaii are finished. If we can send billions over to Ukraine, every one of them should have been built a $200,000 home. Like, give me a break. And that's just the way it is. It should be American people should be helped first. But it seems like somebody's done something backwards. Anytime there's a war, we'll send billions. And it's only because the elites are making more money. And that's all there is to it. And they always want to peg off a war as these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. I got news for you. There's no such thing. There's no good guys, there's no bad guys. There are reasons on both sides. And the only thing the U.S. cares about is how much money are we going to make over there? Or are they preparing for something else like World War III? So they want to use the Ukrainians until they knock off pretty much all of them, and then we'll go in. I mean, there's so much politicking bullshit going on. It's ridiculous. Even with this Donald Trump stuff they got going on. I mean, even if Donald Trump did do those things, I mean, he's got a 64 approval rating. You're going to go put a president in jail? Okay, the guy made some mistakes. I mean, you're telling me Biden hasn't made any? Or other presidents haven't? I mean, this is getting kind of ridiculous. It's looking more like a bunch of Democrats hating on Trump, and okay, we found some legal loopholes. We're going to try and nail the guy. Oh, racketeering. Oh, give me a break. He's a rich guy. You don't think he's racketeering all the time? Come on. I wish I knew how to do it. I mean, give me a break. But one thing's for sure, he's got the highest approval rating. Now, if they're trying to do everything they can to put the screws to that guy, they're going to start a civil war. That's what I'm seeing. So, if anything, those fear-mongering preppers, they're going to have fun with all that. But did you know about Durham, North Carolina having this? And can you imagine, being with no power for 3 days? I mean, we got warnings going on here in Tennessee. And you have to understand, in Tennessee, our 3 months, July, August, September? No, June, July, and August. They're our hottest months. You might as well think of it as this is our winter right now. And nobody goes outside. Everybody runs their air. My power bill's $400. I mean, it's ridiculous. But once this all ends and we start getting in, September, October, November, beautiful camping, beautiful hunting. I mean, it's great. No bugs, no nothing. So while everybody else is going through wintertime in the north and they're running their heat bills up, well, we don't have any air conditioning or heat on because during the day it's beautiful. Throw a quilt on and you're fine. And our winter months are just gorgeous for getting outside because we got no bugs. So that's kind of nice. But in case you didn't know, Durham, North Carolina had lost power for 3 days and the poor people there had no air conditioning. I wonder how many other newscasts we missed that they don't talk about. It seems like they're more concerned about talking about Donald Trump than they are about talking about the American people and what's going on. I just thought that was interesting. Catch you guys on the next one.